Hello everybody and welcome back to some more Lord of the Rings Online. We are here at Scarhold. We need to go talk to Mudro since we had the raid happen. I'm assuming he's going to give us a little update on what happened there. But before we go and talk to him, we do have a few things. So we have our hobby gift of the day, so let's have a little look at what that's going to be. So again, enhanced XP supply and 100 virtue XP. It would have been nicer to have the virtue XP when we had the plus 10%, but we don't anymore, so not a huge deal. We'll put that towards determination at the moment, so that'll be fine. We also got the enhanced XP supply. Whether or not I used it on this character is to be seen still. Same with the Tome of Extraordinary Experience. That doubles our XP for an hour. This just adds an extra boost of the bonus XP. So we had the VIP bonus XP of 1.7 million, and then the purchase bonus would be where this comes under. Even though we just didn't purchase it, we just got it out of a hobby gift. So we'll see if we use that. Maybe if a day comes where we've got a bunch of quests going on and we're super going over, then we can use that. Or more than likely, I'll just transfer it to a different character and use it to level them up a little bit quicker. So, we also have a pending alert. This is actually a new title we've been awarded. You can see it just up here. We may now be known as Legendary Traveler. Now, we just recently, in the last Legendary server episode, got to level 50, which is what you get this for. I thought it was account-wide, as in like overall your characters on the Legendary server, but I guess I've got it here, so every character I've got now has that, so that's kind of nice. And then we have this stuff still in our pending loop, but that's fine, we'll hold on to that. So, Mudro.
You wish to hear about Thorin's expedition to the Endor? The memory is painful.
For though we achieved some success, many good friends gave their lives in that cursed place, and it will not return. 24 of us there were, armed with our finest weapons and strongest armor. Our scouts spied Thether, Wintermine, flying north, with his heath, making for the end of winter, so we knew J.R.R. drove him thither. Drakes and worms of the Frost Sword seem to sense terrible presence behind the frozen surface. Did J.R.R. seek to claim the power for himself? As we approach the Great Crack. Okay, he taunted us, but Longbeard, Zaruka, and Stout Act alike laughed at him. Your empty words do not frighten us, we shouted at him. Mighty drakes of the Frost Horde sensed the presence of their kin. They flew away in the from the rent in the ice in terrible numbers, seeking to put an end to their foes of old. Little did they care for our lineage or the different families that raged before them. No, they saw dwarves bedecked in plate and leather, dwarves wielding blades and axes, and that was enough. The fight was fierce, and by the end of the melee, the ice was speckled with blood, that of drake and dwarf alike. Okay, so he kind of like almost bait and switched, I guess, would be a way of describing it. A great worm crawled from the back crack of the ice. Ancient hungry, and even as we shouted our war cry, she thanked us for bringing her dinner so near. God. But she's not accounted for the sharpness of our dinner knives and for her own appetite for battle. Okay, so they killed the the worm. Waiting Anvil was no longer barred. J.R.R. took advantage and steered their Wintermine to the gap. So basically, he brought them there. The dwarves were killing the enemies, and then J.R.R. just went through. I'm fatigued, friends. Past Doleg will continue our story about the expedition. He's southwest and the upper level of Scarhold. Just there for us. A lot of recounting of this story, I think, is going to be today.
I fought with Thorin,
together my fellows strode past the jagged ice of the great cavern of the Anvil itself, followed the path of J.R.R. and the Veth of Wintermine. It was not empty, did not contain it. Prey. Frostbound hobgoblins and whelps of the Frost Horde stood before us. Terrible foes, but I thought I was unafraid to face. So there was something extra. Move forth onto the smooth surface of the long frozen lake, and then we saw them. They were arrayed on the ledge above us, ghostly figures of kings long dead. I swear I recognise some of their member, though many of them been dead for hundreds of years or more. These were kings who vanished seeking a citadel, but instead of finding lost Thaffa Gothol, they perished from the unforgiving north, for many of them went to death, provided their undoing, and yet there they stood, and I beheld them with my own eyes. Nay, it was not so. Dragon magic lay heavily upon the cavern, moving illusions against us. Okay. Then there was a frozen maze. There's a lot going on in this place. A whole lot going on. And the server's coming down in 60 minutes. That's weird. It's a different day than normal.
How much
I'm not sure
have
why.
the others told you of our expedition?
Yeah, I'm glad to see I did not speak of them. It was cursed drive magic and unnatural. Frost Maze, encountered Karazgar. We didn't go into battle, there's no illusions that it could stay our battle. So, almost turned in their favour. We've worried bears no love for anyone but himself. Drake at last succumbed to his injuries and fire breath of cursed Karazgar. His word echoed through the ice and stone, increasing Karazgar deeper into the tunnel. So they killed the Drake that he was riding. Okay. I close my eyes this way I can hear his terrible voice. Mother, he cried, avenge me. Oh god. So they didn't want to retreat. But a few did. There's obviously something, like they've got that far. I can say confrontation with one side of her. Hrimil seized him by her drawers and flung her aside like a child's toy. Oh, broodmother of the Frost Horde. As she tumbled down the slope of Sophie, trapped herself within and let her stank. Whatever power caused her to do it, she might have followed us all the way back to Scarhole. 24 of us went to Anvil, only 14 dwarfs survived. At least Karazgar and Vethug died and will no longer trouble us. I severely doubt Karazgar is dead. That is least happy to, and Horin's expedition must be deemed a success despite the lives it cost us. I think Gandalf might agree with me that story-wise, I just find it very, Hi Gandalf. Oh, maybe inside the chamber. Oh, really? Yeah, I think Gandalf will probably agree with me that it's very unlikely that he is dead. So what chamber has been given? This room here. Study, chamber of study. Okay, it's a little bit quieter in here.
I think the dwarves are wrong. I believe Karazgar still lives.
So do I. Just even from a story perspective, but also because that seems too easy. Okay. I do not believe Karazgar is truly slain. Maybe the Herald of Winter has given the Weeping Warriors fill a battle for now, but I heard whispers from the dwarves of this place that a trail of blood and rust led away from Primrose chamber, and so Karazgar lives. But let us turn to the matter that brought me hither. I wish to speak to you concerning the Black Book.
I have spent much of this time studying the Black Book, seeking to learn its secrets.
Okay. We're going to go for a little instance.
To my words. Allow my words to paint a picture for you, my friend. A picture from long ago.
Right. This place is looking damn cool. Let's get a little screenshot. It's like, I mean, I completely get how they do it. You can see the sort of theme there, but it's a cool area, to say the least. Right. Let's get back into it anyway. Much of what just remains a mystery to me. I know enough of ancient Dwarvish to make the beginning. The tome was written in a dwarf named Voin, thrice great-grandfather of Kiel, Tailspinner like Kiel. Voin was one of the Vilruka. He kept his home in Járnfast more than 1,000 years ago, but the Black Book you found was hidden within the hidden chamber. There is all that remains of his life. Voin him appears to have no other record that I've found. Voin's writing in the Black Book seems more convoluted than others of his kind. He writes in multiple languages using many different runic alphabets. Furthermore, some of the scrawlings are clearly written and using a cipher, and I am not a wizard. As he said, and I'm not a wizard. I was like, identity crisis here. There's curious gaps between some of these lines and on some of the pages. Kiel's cryptic ancestors may have written some of his account with hidden letters, but unless we learn their trick, they may remain invisible to us. There's a pity I warrant the visible, but I warrant the invisible writing will keep us busy enough. He writes often in the lost city of Thrafa Gothol. It seems to have been a preoccupation of his, as with many of the dwarves. These are the halls of memory. I would name them Thamas Rened. To a dwarf such as Voin, there would be Zuldum or Islikdum. But these are not physical halls. The halls of memory are given shape by the words of Voin. I can hear something. Columns rise from his dreams as a dwarf, the walls from the bounds of his experience. But there are gaps in my knowledge, the halls of memory remain incomplete. Walls of fog, dense mist, these hinder our pursuit of knowledge. Only the words of void can banish these impediments. Is he gonna... There's a cold land, a hard land, evil dwelt there. The fog dissipates, revealing further avenues of knowledge. Kind of flips through the tomes, seeking the right pages. It was Mordor that Voin ventured, but when did he go, and why? He writes to Mordor on different pages, but I cannot tell if he speaks of one journey or several. I believe when he reached the end of the book, he continues to write on overleaf pages, seemingly at random, makes a true accounting of chronology difficult. And yet there are some conclusions to be made. This black-bound tome bears the mark of Sauron. It's not a physical symbol commonly found beyond the borders of his land. When he went to Mordor, when he emerged from the land, he brought with him the Black Book. I can't say for certain if he filled its pages while still in Mordor or after he left. Well, it definitely looks like we're in Mordor. Like, the sky. Much else has remained hidden from me. Some event is here described, but Voin has obscured the identity of those involved. Can you make sense of it? Let's see. Despite his best efforts, Gandalf has not could decipher this portion of Voin's account. So there's like 3 people. I not made any further progress in this direction. Not yet, anyways. What about down here? Is that cleared? No. Go back to the entrance of these halls. There's another... Oh, okay. I quite like being in first person for this. I just think it's like... just an interesting... I was going to say that's like see-through. You can see the bottom of the world. Worry not. Progress, however, remains slow. Okay, so that place is not opened. I have not been idle, and while this course of study has come to an early end, there is another avenue which I have had some success. I told you Voin filled the Black Book with much talks of Gothel. It'd been a session of his. Reading was slow, and for a time I paid it little mind. I could not see how it might relate to the rest of his writings. But I'm a wizard, I am Gandalf. I was seized by the sudden inspiration, and knew there must be an element I missed. A kernel of useful information buried within his constant talk. And so there was. So, assuming we bring up Voin here, he speaks of speaking in the company of a long-beard king. Just a specific one or anyone? I do not even know if Thrain is serious about this expedition. Perhaps not, so long as he supplies us with food and equipment. Just gonna cut down would you look at that? Onward! There's more to learn. He mutters to himself, he searches for the right page once again. Another mysterious account, I guess. Voin trenches to the Grey Mountains in search of lost Gothel. Why did King Thrain agreed to lead an expedition in search of Gothel? His father Nain had been slain in Moria along with many of his people. As the survivors gathered in the Grey Mountains, they dwell for a time and still keep and reopen several of their mines, but it was not enough. If he could make use of the Zaroko to find more suitable home with wealth to rival lost Khazad-dûm, he would do so. King Thrain desired to find Gothel Could not, his desire to find it could not match the Azaruka which whom he'd allied. He gave up the search after only a few years and instead founded Erebor beneath the lonely mountain, but Voin remained, and his account has much to say of his fruitless search. I say fruitless, not truly so. Can you make sense of what accounted here? Is he talking to us, or? Oh. Interesting. Michael, dear, my boon companion, I mean you no harm. Yes, he is an elf. That's very unfair of you. Who else is with you though? Is it all elves? Or there's evil in Gundabad, they say it makes my own search difficult. Judging from how often Magdalena's name appears in the Black Book, Voin made a fast friend. What about these guys though? Their adventures brought them up and down the Grey Mountains as far as Gundabad. And who is himself? Does he appear anywhere but within the pages of the Black Book? He does. Who is he? Who is he? He looks up from the Black Book of Mordor and strokes his beard. Feels like I'm playing D&D or something. Okay. Outside of Voin's book, the name Magdaldir only appears once. Almost 2,000 years before encounter with Voin and Erimithrin, an elf named Magdaldir served beneath the High King Gil-galad during the siege of Barad-dûr. His name appears in the list of elves who maintain the fortifications of an encampment in Mordor called Ekad in Etzil. But that is all. If you performed any heroic deeds on behalf of the Last Alliance, they are not recorded. Indeed, if they were not for the frequent mention of his name in the book, I should think he perished during the siege. But survive he did, for 2,000 years later, he encountered Voin. My study of the Black Book of Mordor has only raised further questions. But we're done. There we are. That took a while. As far learned so far, it takes some days to learn why I'm confident Voin and Magdaldir will not keep their secrets from me for much longer. Right, we'll finish up with you then.
It is clear that Kiel's thrice-great-grandfather Voin has much yet to tell us.
Is it Voin? I'm calling him Voin. Right, so once again, it's going to be another good upgrade to the current one, which is current lowest. We'll lose the fate, but we're getting a lot more agility and vitality, so definitely worth it. And then we'll see where we're at 120 with epic battle stuff. Unfortunately, I won't have enough time to do that today because the servers are going to come down at some point in like an hour, well, probably about 45 minutes at this point, and I don't really want to cut it too close with that whole thing. Oh, there's a Zaruka messenger here. We'll talk to him
I did not mean to cause offense.
next episode. Oh, I'll pick up you. I didn't know. Okay, they're quick to anger. I do not expect to wait to such so quickly. A message for you from a mutual friend. He asked me to send you to him on the road to the Glimmer with as much haste as you can manage. It's fast as the wind, he said to me. Now I've delivered the message. I'll take my leave, and more importantly, I'll leave the wizard to his books and in peace. Someone wants you to meet on the road to Glimmerdeep. So that's about there. So that's not too bad. At least server's about to come in 45 minutes. So we'll make our leave in just a second. Just do want to double check there's nothing we can give in. No, it just fails Vanduin. Still, we're waiting to get there. So we'll finish off for today then. Don't want to get stuck somewhere while the servers are going down. And we'll head to this halfway through to the Glimmerdeep next episode and see where that takes us. And obviously we're quite relatively close. We're about 3/4 of the way to level 119. Obviously we just got to wait a little bit to get to 120, and then we can have the greaves that we've got here, the ring that we've got here, and then the bracelet that we're going to get from this. And then obviously epic battle wise, we'll see where we stand at 120. We'll see how good that stuff is in comparison to epic battle stuff, and whether or not we hold on to it. So nonetheless, that's going to be it for today's episode. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.